All right, this morning, Delaware is the latest state with the law protecting the privacy of students from kindergarten through high school. Nationwide, only 4 states prohibit schools from sharing sensitive information with third-party vendors like marketers. Another 9 states are considering similar laws. Jim Steyer is the founder of Common Sense Media, a nonprofit advocacy group that teaches families about technology. Good morning. This is interesting. I hadn't even thought about this, Jim. There's only 4 states that prevent this. Right. Are schools really sharing personal information about our children to marketers?
They have been, and actually it's because technology is now a big part of education, and it wasn't a few years ago. And actually 4 states is better than 0, which was the number 2 years ago.
What kind of personal information? How are they getting this information?
Well, basically, you know, what's happening is because everything's going online and because a lot of kids, maybe even yours, are getting laptops or iPads in the classroom, people are getting accounts where personal information, health, behavior, all sorts of personal family information is stored. And because there were no laws about it, school districts aren't that knowledgeable about it. They were selling it to marketers, et cetera. So we started passing laws at Common Sense around the country, starting in California, to restrict the use of that data to only educational purposes.
How would this transaction work? A marketer would come to a school and say, give us all the information on students in your school?
You know, basically, Charlie, if you think about schools, they don't have that much technology experience. They're overwhelmed a lot of times. Think of the average public school. So they send it out to some contractor, some IT contractor. They don't even read the privacy policies. You can't read the privacy policies on apps on your iPhone either, by the way. So the issue of privacy has been a fundamental challenge for kids and families across the country, not just in schools, but also in home. This is the issue with Facebook and Instagram collecting all the data on your kids, too.
So you're saying that some of the schools aren't even aware that this information could be being shared?
They weren't until a couple of years ago. To be honest with you, we held a big conference in D.C. with Arnie Duncan and the chairman of the FCC, Tom Wheeler, a couple of years ago. And there were basically no laws. So Common Sense is based in California. We decided to pass a law in California that basically said you can only use the information for educational purposes. And then the family has control over how the information is stored or destroyed after the kid leaves the school.
But some families said that that law didn't go far enough.
Well, listen, the tech industry spent millions of dollars lobbying against us. They would like to have unfettered access to your personal, by the way, your personal information as well as your kids' personal information. So we started passing these laws, and Delaware is the 4th state now that's enacted a law, and the momentum is moving in the right direction. The one thing I'd say to parents, though, is technology is here to stay in your kids' education, and used properly, it can be great. Yeah. But we have to protect kids' privacy.
Your company is funded by some media companies?
Well, you know, Charlie, at Common Sense, we rate, educate, and advocate. So we have a consumer information platform with over 50 million users. We rate every movie, TV, video game. We charge the big distributors like Comcast, Time Warner Cable, DirecTV, Netflix to use our ratings. But we're also their toughest critic. I mean, my last book was called Talking Back to Facebook, and I can assure you we are an independent, trusted source for parents.
So what do you hope happens? What do you think what will ultimately come of this?
I mean, I think 2 things. First of all, that kids get a better education. I mean, the #1 priority in this country, in our opinion, ought to be improving the lives of kids in education. I think second, that technology should be used wisely for educational purposes only, so that it's not a marketing thing. Schools don't become a source of information to be marketed to. They instead learn about educating kids and use technology wisely.
Well, this is certainly eye-opening, and I'm going to have a few questions for my school district, that's for sure, when school starts. Jim Steyer, thank you so much.
Great to see you guys.
Thank you.